focus on the minutes. But anyways, now that we're done with algebraic fractions, we are straight away going to move on to percentages. And as you all said, we did not start percentages, right? Okay. So can you all put the topic? This is lesson number 14. Lesson number 14, percentages. Please put the topic first. Okay, now when we are learning about percentages in this lesson, Lamai, there are a few percentages that we are going to be talking about. Mulim api kata karna ek section hai, it's called taxes. So since you all are still a little young and you have not really stepped into the adult world, you don't know that people pay taxes, right? So some people pay taxes for the property that they own. Like if you own like a house or like a big property or like ඔය කියන්නේ සිංහල ආදායම් බදු ගන්නාව කියන ඉන්ලන්ඩ් රෙවෙනියු එකෙන් එනවා කියලා කියන්නේ or like ඉන්ලන්ඩ් රෙවෙනියු එකට ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා ඒ terms අහලා තියෙනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්. So when you own a property, it could be a land, it could be a house, it could be a building, it could be something commercial, you generally have to pay a tax to the government. That is what we call it something called rates, right? Then there's another type of taxes called income tax. That is a tax you get for the income you make. Okay, so you may be, or someone else may be, or like your parents may be, when they earn like generally salary එකක් තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාට salary එකක් earn කරනකොට ඒකට tax එකක් වදිනවා. So do you all know this already? Are you all familiar with this already? Some of your parents, if your parents are entrepreneurs, even then I think like at a certain point they have to be subjected to income tax. But yes, you know this, no? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට employed කටිය complain කරනවා කියන්නේ සමහරවිට ඇත්තටම salary එකෙන් ටිකක් ලොකු percentage, a considerable percentage of capital income tax. So that's another type of tax that we pay, right? Then the third type of tax is something called value added tax. Value added tax is always for bills. So again, this is not something that you know. Have you heard of the term VAT? VAT එක ගැන අහලා තියෙනවද VAT? Yeah, yes. So that is value added tax. ඒවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ළමයි add වෙන්නේ services වලට. So when you're getting the electricity bill, you get a VAT for that. When you get a water bill, you get a VAT for that. When you get like some other මොනහරි bills වලට you get a VAT. And also restaurants වලට නැත්නම් cafes වලට වගේ ගියාම ඒගොල්ලන් service charge එකෙන් service එකට they cut a certain percentage VAT, right? And then lastly, so those are the main types of, and also another one is customs duty. Customs duty කියන්නේ ළමයි අපි බඩු import කරද්දී and export කරද්දී we have to pay a certain tax to the customs department. Have you heard of this? When we import and export, have you heard that we are paying some tax? Yeah. So these are the main 4 types of taxes that we are going to be talking about. In addition to that, we are going to talk about something called interest, right? Interest එක අපි පස්සේ කතා කරමු, but taxes are the taxes and interest is what we are going to be talking about. So if you look at this lesson in a nutshell can have a simple ගත්තොත් මේ lesson එකේ තියෙන්නේ we have taxes and we have interest. Okay, taxes and we have interest. And taxes, well, we have, as I said, 4 types. we have rates, then we have customs duty, and we have income tax. I will explain all of this, but I just wanted you to have an idea about what the lesson is. And then also VAT. Interest wala now in this lesson in grade 10, we are only learning about simple interest. But in grade 11, we have to talk about something called compound interest. But that is for a later point. A grade 11. May grade 10 will අපි කතා කරන ටික. So this is our lesson in a nutshell. Right? Very simply, මේක තමයි skeleton එක අපි අද lesson එකේ කතා කරමු. Did you get a rough idea about what we will be discussing in the lesson, ළමයි? Okay. So first one is rates. Among ලියන වෙලාව දෙන්නම්. Don't worry about writing, just listen. So first one is rates. Now rates is just as I previously said. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔයාට හරි ඔයාලගේ parents ලාට හරි ඊට පස්සේ or somebody you know, if they own a certain property, a piece of land, or like a building, or like a house, ඒ වගේ මොන හරි property එකක් own කරනවා නම් you have to, or the owner has to pay a certain percentage as a tax to the government, right? එතකොට when we are paying a certain tax to the government, we call it rates, right? මුලින්ම දැන් ඔක්කොම කලින් property එකේ value එක බලන්න ඕනනේ. Without knowing the value of the property, we can't pay tax. මොකද tax එක කියන්නේ we pay a percentage of the value of the property. So generally, have you heard of a term called valuation? Valuation එක කරන්න එනවා. Valuation එක කරන්න ඕනේ මේ property එක. එහෙම කී parents කියනවා අහලා තියෙනවද? Others? Yeah. Valuation කියලා කියන්නේ ළමයි, we can hire a certain company or a certain person or somebody. They come and they take a look at your property. They compare it with the land or the purchase එක මේ ගන්නට යනවා. එහෙම කී තියෙනවනේ. ඒවත් එක්ක compare කරලා ඕගලන්ගේ land එකේ විදිය compare කරලා ඕගලන්ගේ land එකට value එකක් දෙනවා. ඒ value එකට අපි කියනවා assessed annual value. ඒක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් renew කරන්න පුළුවන් ඕගලන්ට එක කාලයකට සැරයක් renew කරන්න පුළුවන්. So එතකොට ඒ value එකට තමයි percentage එකක් ඔයා tax විදියට ගෙවන්නේ. ඔයා or the owner of that property. So that is what we call rates. That is simply what it means. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. So let's write a small okay. Since you put the topic, can you draw this part, ළමයි? මෙන්න මේ කොටස draw කරගන්න බලන්න මේ කොටස. එතකම මම යට sentences ටිකක් ලියන්නම්. Until that, you draw the what I have written up. Make it faster. Okay, ළමයි, once you're done drawing this upper part, මෙන්න මේ part එක draw කරලා ඉවරනාට පස්සේ put the topic rates and then you can draw this part. Okay? Make it really fast. I'll set a timer for 2 more minutes. Huh? All right, ළමයි. I think you have finished writing. Okay. So, Mithina, there are some basic equations that we need to know. May equations are මාරම කටපාඩම් කරන් එහෙම කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. But still you need to have an understanding, right? So when now අපි rates calculate කරන්න එනකොට you will be asked to calculate annual rates. So annual rates is equal to, you know that sorry. So for any property, as I said, for whether it's a building or a land or a house, there's a value, a certain value, which we call the assessed annual value. අර valuation කරලා දෙනවා කිව්වේ ඒ value එක. Assessed annual value. So a property එකේ assessed annual value එකෙන් ඔයා multiply කරනවා rate percentage එක. So the rate percentage is not something that you can control. That is something that the government sets. Government එක කියනවා මෙච්චරක් තමයි rate percentage එක. So you have to pay that much. So rate percentage. මෙහෙම තමයි මේ equation එක solve කරන්නේ. One second, let me write it a bit nicely. So this is annual rates. All right. එතකොට now මේ මෙතන term එකක් තියෙනවා quarterly rates කියලා. So annual rates කියන්නේ අවුරුද්දකට. So from the value of the property that you own, a certain percentage you are paying as tax to the government. We call it rates. That is for a year. අවුරුද්දකට මෙච්චරක් ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. So යාට ඒක එකපාර ගෙවන්න පුළුවන්. එකපාර ගෙවන එක අමාරුයි නා. Sometimes if the amount is too high, paying it at once may be a little difficult. Then there's another option called quarterly rates. ඔයාට පුළුවන් එක හතරකට කඩලා ගෙවන්න. Right? As installments. So annual rates, what you're going to do is you're going to divide by 4. As simple as that. When you divide annual rates by 4, you get quarterly rates. Is that clear to all of you, Lamai?
So this means the quarterly rates is for 3 months.
Sorry, Ismail, quarterly rates is for
3 months.
quarterly rates, yeah, 3-month periods. Because when you divide the entire year into four fragments, one fragment would have 3 months. So every 3 months you have to pay them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions that you all have, Lamai? Okay. So, I'll make a little time then, but let's look at an example. So for the example, I'm taking the same one as on the textbook because it's easier for us to use, right? Textbook, a house. Let me change the color. A house of assessed annual value 36,000. This is impossible, but just a calculation only. Up here, 360,000 is charged annual rates of 4%. අපිට කියනවා calculate the quarterly rates that need to be paid. Okay. So now we already know the equation. We know the assessed annual value. We know the rate percentage and all that. In an annual rates, කොහොමද අපි calculate කරන්නේ? Hamalema, you don't have to write the equation, lamai. There are certain equations where you have to write it always, but this is not one of them. Mame equation එක දුන්නේ so that you get a better understanding. But that doesn't mean you have to repeat the equation every time you do a question, right? But ඒක මතක තියාගත්තාම ඇති. So annual rates equals assessed annual value. Now here the assessed annual value is 360,000. We multiply that by the rate percentage. And we know rate percentage is 4/100. 4% means 4/100, right? So let's do the calculation. 0, 0 to 0, 0 cancel වෙනවා. And then we get 36 multiplied by 4. So 36 when you multiply by 4, what do you get? 0, 0, 4 times 6, 24, 4 times 3, 12, 13, 14. So we get 14,400. Up to this point, is it clear? Right. But we can't stop the answer from here because they are asking quarterly rates, not annual rates. Now that we have the annual rates, how do we find the quarterly rates? quarterly rates equals annual rate value become you just divide that by 4. It's okay, Senudi, get the record. I know that there are some pending recordings, Gamai. I will make sure that all the recordings are uploaded tonight itself. So tomorrow, Ogalanta pending Hambech recordings cinema. Remind Miss Divya and get them tomorrow itself because all the recordings will be uploaded tonight. Because recording upload karna part ka atara Miss Divya neve karane mamai karanne. So there has been a delay from my end. I'm very sorry for that. But as I said, yes, all recordings will be uploaded tonight. So 14 divided by 4, 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14, 2 remaining. We get 3,600 quarterly rates. Is this clear to all of you? Give me a thumbs up, please. Yes, Ismail, go ahead.
Please, to find the annual rates, why do we divide it by 100? That I don't understand.
Okay, so here we are talking, rate percentage. Now here the rate percentage is 4%. Always a percentage means, this percentage sign means it's divided by 4. So the percentage, let's say 4%, when you convert it to a fraction, it would be 4 over 100. So if we say like 25% percentage, when you convert it to a fraction, that would be 25 over 100. So that's why percentage, I converted it to a fraction to simplify. So 4% became 4 over 100. Is that clear, Smile?
Yes, miss.
Okay, all right. Lama, now equations also you didn't copy down early and I didn't give time. So copy down these equations. You can square them or do something like that. And then write this example. Make it fast. Yes, sure, Maria. I'll scroll down a little. I hope it's visible now. All right, Lamai, did you all write this or do you all need more time? Done or do you all need more time? Hello, if you all are done, give me a thumbs up if you need more time. Both the equation and the question. Like an example, like a question, I guess. Sorry, I think my internet connection is a little unstable. Ne? Okay. So, one more minute. Okay. One more minute. Sure. Okay. So I have a question. Why do you divide it by 4 over 100 and then again? Okay. So 4 over 100 will divide them multiply. 4 over 100 they can 4 will multiply color 100 will divide. That is because of how the equation goes. Annual rates you calculate by getting the assessed annual value when multiplying it by rate percentage. So here the assessed annual value is 360,000. You have to multiply it by the rate percentage. So rate percentage is 4%. 4% when you convert it to a fraction, you get 4 over 100. And you got annual rates. Up to that point, is it clear, Shweta? Okay. Now, as I said previously, annual rates means you have to pay it like it's like annually. You have to pay it annually. But if it's like a big amount, like if you take like a huge commercial building, the annual rates would be a very big amount. What can be done is that amount can be broken down to 4 parts. So annual rates you divide it to 4 parts and you pay it as quarterly rates. So quarterly rates can annual rates and value become you divide by 4 and you get quarterly rates. So if you are paying it just once for a year, you have to pay 14,400. But if you are paying as quarterly rates, you have to pay 3,600. Is that clear, Shweta? Okay. Now example 2. Again, as I said, the same example as on the textbook. Now this is a little different. My textbook එකේ තියෙනකම තමයි. මොකක්ද මේ council කියලා කියන්නේ ළමයි? Now government එකේ governmental organizations institutions include urban council, municipal council and like ප්‍රාදේශීය සභා ඒවා තියෙනවානේ. So සමහර areas cover වෙනවා municipal council එකේ. Right? And then සමහර ඒවා cover වෙනවා urban council එකේ. සමහර ඒවා cover වෙනවා ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවනේ. So ඒගොල්ලන් තමයි tax collect කරන්නේ. They are also governmental institutions. That's why we say council. Now look at this. අපි equation එක මොකද්ද? Assessed rate, sorry, annual rates equals assessed annual value multiplied by rate percentage, right? So let me write that again just here. Annual rates equals assessed annual value multiplied by rate percentage. Then බලන්න මෙතන assessed annual value of the shop we have. So assessed annual value we have. Quarterly rates is 300. So quarterly rates දන්නවනම් annual rates අපිට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්ද? Quarterly rates කියන්නේ annual, so you know how to find quarterly rates, right? Yes, quarterly rates හොයාගන්නේ annual rates 4 වලින් divide කරලා. Then from quarterly rates, if I want to find annual rates, quarterly rates I have to multiply by 4. So now quarterly rates is 300. I have to multiply by 4. I get 1,200. This is the annual rates. 1,200 is annual rates. So assessed annual value, we have 24,000. Annual rates, 1,200. That also we have. And now we have to find the rate percentage. Okay. So, now annual rates 1,200. I'm going to substitute the values. Assessed annual value 24,000. Multiplied by now rate percentage. When we take the percentage, you know percentage sign again can divided by 100. ඒකත් අපි දන්නවනේ. So divided by 100 part එකත් මම දන්නවා. මෙතනට එනක තමයි මම දන්නේ නැත්තේ. That's what I don't know. Whether it's 4% or 3% or 5%, I don't know that. But I know percent means divided by 100. Therefore, I put divided by 100. But I don't know the number. So I'll put it as X. Now I have to find X. Right? So I will leave X on this side. Main side එකේ තියෙනවා 1,200. This 100, when I bring it to other side, it becomes multiplication. This 24,000, when I bring it to other side, it becomes division. So I will just do the cut and chop here. 0, 0, 0, 0, May 0, May 0. 24 times 1, 24, 24 times 520. So therefore, X equals 5. X equals 5 means X can rate percentage. So therefore, rate percentage is 5%. Is this clear to you, Lamai? All right. Can you all write this one as well? Make it fast. Now let's move on to customs duty then. Make it really fast. All right, Lamai, done copying. Shall we move on? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right. Now, rates done. Right? We have finished rates. So we'll strike it off. Now we'll do customs duty. So please put the topic customs duty. Is everything clear in rates, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up if everything is clear. All right. If you have any questions, please do ask. I'll get thumbs up back. How do I do it? It automatically goes. Okay, customs duty. Now, customs duty, we already talked about this a little earlier when I was giving you the brief overview. But customs duty is when you import or when you export some item, a item के price second, the value baking, you have to pay a certain percentage as tax to the government. Especially when tax collect karagana Sri Lanka customs again. Any parents who are working at the customs? No? Okay. So anyways, Sri Lanka Customs is a particular organization which is responsible for collecting customs duty taxes for any imports and exports. එතකොට හිතන්න ඔයා order කරනවා කියලා something you import something, right? So like for an example අපි ගමු. For an example, let's say මොනවාද සමහර ඔයගොල්ලන් online order කරන්නේ මොන හරි අපි හිතමු maybe like some equipment, right? Maybe you decided to order, let's say, something a little expensive like a phone from abroad. So when you order this phone or like a television or a washing machine or මොන හරි item එකක් ඔයා order කරද්දී ඔයා ඇත්තටම ඒකේ ඇත්ත price එකට වඩා, right? You are paying a lot extra. That is customs duty. Okay, because when we import that item, that particular amount has to be paid to the customs. ඒකෙන්තර ඒගොල්ලන් price කරන්නේ ටිකක් වැඩියෙන්. වැඩියෙන් price කරාම ඊටට duty customs duty එකට දීලා ඊටට ටික ඒගොල්ලන්ට ගන්න පුළුවන් sellers ලට. So you know airport එකේ there's the duty free section. Have you heard of it? Others? Have you all heard of the duty free section at the airport? Right. So airport එකේ there's a duty free section where things are less expensive or a little cheaper than how they are in the outside. Because outside ගත්තාම customs duty amount එකත් add වෙලා තමයි price කරන්නේ. Then it's a little expensive. But inside the airport, inside the airport is still in the airport, therefore there is a particular section called the duty free where customs duty is not considered. So customs duty එක නැතුව තමයි price එක දාලා තියෙන්නේ. That's why it's a little cheaper. So okay, let's write topic එක දැම්මනේ මාත් එක්කම ලියන්න. I hope you're writing with me. Quickly write it. Okay. All right, let's talk about an example. Again, we'll take the same example as on the textbook. I will select like two or three examples. Okay. So these examples are from the textbook. So this is example 1. When a car is imported, 60% of its value has to be paid as customs duty. Find the total amount with the duty included that it costs a person to import a car worth 2 million rupees. So, then we have a customs duty percentage calculate. Sorry, customs duty calculate करना. So, customs duty value value of the item is 2 million. Multiplied by the percentage is 60%. That's a big percentage, right? 60%. So 0, 0, 0, 0 cancel. Well, we get 2 times 6 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for a 2 million priced car, අපි කොච්චර දැන් මෙතන ගෙවලා තියෙනවද customs duty 1.2 million. That's 1,200,000. That's a lot, right? So this is how we calculate the customs duty. Up to that point, is it clear, lamai? Okay. Then අපි ගහන්නේ මොකද්ද? Total amount එකනේ. So total amount means the total price of the car. Total price of the car means the actual value. Value is 2 million. So 2 million වලට add කරන්න ඕනේ 1,200,000. So then only we get the real cost because duty tapi pay karane pay. So we get 3,200,000 rupees. Is that clear? Okay, quickly copy this down, make it fast. Done, Lamai? Done writing this example? All right. Then let's write example 2. Make up examples 2 na khata karna. Example 2. Again from the textbook itself. Okay. If 18,000 was charged as customs duty, now they have given the customs duty amount, right? And the value of the item is also given 300,000. Percentage of the value. We can then apply customs duty percentage. Okay. So put up equation. This is our equation, right? This is the equation. So in this equation, now 18,000 is the customs duty. 300,000 is the value of the item. But customs duty percentage is what we don't know. Okay, let's substitute the values. Customs duty amount, we know 18,000. Value of the item, we know 300,000. Customs duty percentage. Since it's a percentage, we know divided by 100 can a part again. But we don't know what comes to the top. Let's label it as Y or something. So, Y may karot, we have here we have 18,000. This 100, when I bring it to other side, it becomes multiplication. This 300,000, when I bring it to other side, it becomes division. So 0, 0 cancel, 0, 0 cancel, 0, 0, 0 cancel, 0, 0, 0 cancel. We get Y equals 18 divided by 3, which is 6. And now, what is the customs duty percentage? 6%. Is that clear to you? Is that clear to you, Ramai? Okay. Okay, quickly copy down. Make it fast. All right. Others? Okay. Just one more example in customs duty before we move on to income tax. Again, this question is also from the textbook, right? The value of a television set with the 15% customs duty added to it is 28,750. What is the value of the television set without the duty? Then, if you take this same equation, make an apidan nekena. මම මෙයාව use කරදම ඔයගලන් try කරනවා වගේ තමයි මේක try කරන්න හදන්න. All right, so let's see. The value of the television set with 15% customs duty. Can we have the duty percentage? Okay. 28,750. 28,750 can lamai. Is it customs duty or is it value of the item? Which one is 28,750?
Customs duty.
Okay. Actually, meat nevei. Sorry, Basma?
It's the value of the customs duty and the actual value of the item.
Yes, correct. So that is actually customs duty and value both added. So to the value of the item, we have already added the customs duty and then only the price is 28,750. And make him a I don't have a place to put this, right? So we have something different for this kind of calculations, right? If you have a calculation where they ask customs due value of the item with customs duty, right? So value of the item with customs duty, right? So that means value of the item plus customs duty. You take the value of the item without customs duty. Value of the item without value of the item without customs duty. You multiply by percentage 100 plus the percentage. That is a method, right? 100 plus customs duty percentage. So this is also quite a useful equation. But with practice, it will be easier for you to remember. Okay. So now here, value of the item with customs duty, I know. With customs duty, yeah, with customs duty, yes. 28,750. My question is copy color. Yeah, no. Value of the item without customs duty, I don't know. That is what they're asking. Since I don't know that, P kela, some letter. Multiplied by customs duty percentage is 15%. 100 plus 15% is 115%. So 115% I can write as 115 over 100. Did you all understand how I substituted the values? Okay, now P, I'm going to keep it on one side. May පැත්තේ තියෙනවා 28,750. This 100, when I bring it to other side, it becomes multiplication. This 115, when I bring it to other side, it becomes division. Then what do you make a simplify කරන්න? When you simplify, you will get the answer. මම කෙලින්ම textbook එකේ answer ගන්නම් 25,000. You can simplify and get the answer ළමයි. Answer is 25,000. Is that calculation part clear to all of you, ළමයි? Others? Okay. So actually, ළමයි, this method අපි මේ first question එකේ කරන්නේද මෙන්න මේක. ඒකට මේ method එක දාලා කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. Let me show you how it happens. Now, the first question, customs duty was the first example we were talking about. When a car is imported, 60% of its value has to be paid as customs duty. Find the total amount to be paid with the duty included. අපෙන් අහන්නේ value of the item with the customs duty. මෙයාව අහනවා without customs duty value එක අපි දන්නවා percentage එකක් දාන්න. එහෙනම් value of the item without customs duty is 2 million. Customs duty percentage is 60%. 100 plus 60% is 160%. So 160% is 160 divided by 100. And then we just have to do the calculation. 0 to 0, 0 to 0. We get 3,200,000. So මෙතන steps දෙකක් විතරක් නේ අපිට එක step එකෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Is that clear to you, ළමයි? Okay, first of all, write the answer for question number 3, and then I will give you time to copy that other method of question number 1. First, write question number 3. Make it fast. While you write this, give me a second. Am I done writing this? Okay, can you all copy this other method of question number 1 now? So real fast. Question number 1 came now. It's a shortcut method, no? So it's better that you know this. So quickly write this one also. Make it fast. After third example, you have to write the first example. So I don't know if you have space there. So if you have space, just squeeze it there. Pudiyata hari, nathan sticky note kalawala hari, write it in some way. Because I think that's important to write it for example 1 as well. Quickly, huh? Okay, Lamai. I think that's enough time, and let's move on to now we have finished customs duty. So let's move on to income tax. Can you put the topic? Okay. So income tax is like this. So income එකක් කියන හැමෝම give me a second. Okay. So whoever that gets an income doesn't pay income tax, right? So income tax in සාමාන්‍යයෙන් there has to be a certain limit. Okay. So ගොඩක් වෙලාවට income tax එක අපි consider කරන්නේ annual income එක. So for an example, if we take, if the annual income is like below 500,000, let's say, tax එකක් නැහැ. If the annual income is above 500,000, up to a certain extent, there's a tax එකක් තියෙනවා. If the income is above 1 million, there's another tax. So එහෙම තමයි තියෙන්නේ. So may values sticker, now the values that I'm going to be showing you, which is also on the textbook, is from the Inland Revenue Department issued in 2011, which is 15 years ago. So these values probably are not the same now, right? They have changed, but I don't know how they have changed, but they definitely have changed because මේ 2011. බලන්න, when you're earning a particular income, initial 500,000 is tax free, right? If your salary is like below 500,000, you don't have to pay any tax to the IRD. IRD is Inland Revenue Department. Next 500,000. Let's say August salary is 600,000 kela. Now you have to pay a tax of 4% to the government or the IRD. Even like let's say your income is 750,000, still you have to pay 4%. For the next 500,000 rupees, tax percentage is 8%. Let's say 1,200,000. If an 8% given. So likewise, as the income is increasing, the tax percentage is also increasing. The මෙතනත් වඩා වැඩි නම් 24% is the tax. So this is an annual income. Okay. So make again, before explaining anything, I will do a question. Don't write this because I will be giving you a note. So don't write the question, just listen. Okay. If the annual income of an individual is 575,000, calculate the income tax he has to pay for the year. Whenever you get a question like this, you break the salary into 500,000 or the income into 500,000 sets. So if you take here, the annual income is 575,000. So initial 500,000 තියෙනවා. In addition to that, there's another 75,000. So we know for the initial 500,000, there is no tax. So this part is tax-free. So for the next 500,000, if it's within the next 500,000, this person has to pay a tax of 4%. So 500,000 වලට වඩා එක රුපියලක් හරි වැඩි නම් 4% pay කරන්න ඕනේ. And now what is the income tax this person has to pay? Income tax equation එක taxable income multiplied by income tax percentage. Why did I say taxable income? අර අපි කලින් කිව්වාගේ මුළු income එකම tax එකට include වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Now if you take this example, the initial 500,000 is tax free. So that was not included in the tax, right? So එහෙනම් income tax එක, now the taxable income is 75,000. The percentage is 4%. Zeros දෙක cancel වුණා. 300 rupees. Sorry, 3,000 rupees is the income tax that this person has to pay to the Inland Revenue Department of the government. Is that clear? Quickly copy this down. May table එක නිකන් copy කරගන්න, but I'm not gonna let you write anything. So just copy the table and write the rest. Done writing, Amai? Tamanane? I'll give you like 2 more minutes. Quickly write. All right, Lamai. Let's move on to example number 2. Example 2, again, we are going to use the same example as on the textbook. Api the homework discuss kara, right? Because all the questions I will be giving as homework and only the explaining part we'll do during the class. With that, we can save the time. Okay, if the annual income of a certain businessman is 1,650,000 rupees, calculate the total income tax he has to pay. So I told you whenever you get the annual income, you have to break it to 500,000 pieces. So annual income plus 500,000. So 1,650,000 value, when you subtract 500,000, there's 1,150,000 left. A king, when I take another 500,000 out, it will be 1,150,000, no? So I took another 500,000 out, I have 650,000. From that, I can take another 500,000 out. I have 150,000. So that 150,000, I just write as it is. Now, tax-free, no, this part is tax-free. So the first 500,000 is tax-free. Then for this, we have a tax of 4%. For this, 8%. And for this, 12%. See, 4, 8, 12. Now we have to separately calculate each and every one of these. So income tax, or calculate something like this. First 500,000 tax-free, so we don't care about that. The next 500,000, well, to 4%. That means 4 over 100. Plus the next 500,000, 8%. Plus the remainder is only 150,000. For that 150,000, the tax percentage is 12%. Now this is the calculation that we have to go ahead with. Let's cut and chop. 0, 0, 0, 0. Then here 0, 0, 0, 0. Here 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, what do we have remaining? 5 times 4 is 20. Power zeros, 1, 2, 3. So that means 20,000. 5 times 4 is 20. 1, 2, 3. 5 times 8 is 40. 1, 2, 3. 3 zeros. 15 times 12. So 12 times 5 is 60. 6 remaining. 12 times 1 is 12. And 12 plus 6 is 18. And we have 1, 2. 2 zeros. That is 18,000. So 20,000 plus 40,000 is 60,000. 60,000 plus 18,000 is 78,000 rupees. So this is the total income tax that this person has to pay. Is this clear to all of you, Lamai? Give me a thumbs up. Others? Okay. Quickly copy this down. Make it fast. Done, Lamai? Okay, so now that we have finished income tax also, we can mark that, strike that off. It's quite satisfying when we have a list of things that we have to accomplish and we're slowly ticking everything off. And now we have to do VAT. Can you put the topic? Put the topic VAT. Value added tax. Give me a second. Okay, Lamai. So I'm sorry. So value-added tax is, again, I mentioned this. This is for any service. So when you get the electricity bill, there's a particular tax that we are paying for the government. That is VAT. For the water bill also like that. For most of the utility bills like telephone bills, internet bills, අර එක කාලයක් තිබ්බේ VAT එක ගොඩාක් වැඩි කරලා තිබ්බ කාලයක්. So ඒ වගේ bills ඔක්කොටම එනවා. And as I said previously, restaurants, cafes, hotels, when you go, for the bill, for the service that they're giving, they add a tax. We call it value added tax. So not just for the service, for a product or a service, they add that tax. Okay, so that is called value added tax. Let's write a short sentence. When a product or a service a percentage of its value this is called the value added tax. What percent? I'm also writing this, which you have to copy down again. Huh? Quickly write. All right. So let's look at an example. Right. Let's look at an example. Example 1. So again, for this, I will be using, I didn't miss anything in the chat box. No, no. Okay. So again, for this, I'm using the same example as on the textbook. Okay. A person's monthly telephone charges are 2,500. If a VAT of 15,000 is added to this charge, what is his monthly bill? Then we already know the equation. No? What is the equation? What is the equation? Here, this one. Right? So, now value of the product or service. Here we are talking about the telephone bill. So, the value of the telephone bill is 2,500. What percentage is 15%? So 0, 0 cancel whenever we get 25 multiplied by 15. Can you all do the calculation and tell me? 15 times 5 is 75. 15 times 2 is 30, 37. So I just did it, but yeah, this is the VAT amount. They are not asking the VAT amount, they are asking the monthly bill. Monthly bill කියලා කියන්නේ monthly bill means value of the bill plus the VAT amount. Now, what is the value of the bill? 2,500. VAT amount is 375. So, we get 2,875 rupees. This is the total bill. Is that clear to you, Lamai? Okay, give me a second. Okay, ළමයි. So, just a little something මේකට අපිට තව method එකක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. So, if I label this as method 1, can you all hear me, ළමයි? Okay. Then method 2 කියන්නේ කෙලින්ම අපි value of the item with VAT. අර කලින් එකේ අපි කරේ value of the item with VAT means value of the item without VAT plus multiplied by 100 plus 100 plus VAT percentage. So this is exactly what we talked about earlier. One second. So here, Bana make a shortcut. Let's see how short it is. Value of the item with VAT equals, now value of the item without VAT is 2,500. Multiplied by, now the VAT percentage is 15%. We have to add 100 to 15, then that would be 115%. So 115% would be 115 divided by 100. So 0, 0 cancel whenever we will get the same amount in one step. So here you have to go through 2 steps. Now here you can get the answer with just 1 step. Is this clear to you, Lamai? Okay, quickly write this down. I'll give you 3 to 4 minutes. Make it fast. All right, am I done writing this up to this point? Okay. So up to this point, do you all have any questions or is everything clear? Give me a thumbs up if everything is clear. Alia, Basma, Gayuka, Shashiprabha, Zuha. Okay. So today let's wind up because we have to start a new section. එතකොට ඒ අලුත් section එක පටන් ගන්න අපිට time නැති හින්දා we'll start it next day, but I have some exercises or homework that I want you all to do. Exercise 14.1. Can you all please do question number 4, then question number 5, then question number 10, and question number 13, and question number 16. So there are 5 questions altogether. So this is your homework. We'll be discussing these 5 questions next day. So all good, right? So next week we'll be meeting on 21st of June. 21st? 21st, sorry, 24th of June, right? So until then, have a great week and good night, Lamai. I will ask Miss Eva to share the whiteboard note with you. Okay, let's wrap up. Good night, Lamai.
Thank you and good night, teacher.
Night.
Teacher.